Well, I guess that's your library. I don't know. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, yeah. We are here to talk a little bit about something we're really excited about, which is roller derby. So we have two people who skate with me on the Chicago Outfit Roller Derby League. So if you want to introduce yourselves, and I'll do a little introduction too. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go again.
Yeah,
Okay.
go again.
My name is Bat Hit Crazy. In the roller derby name world, my pronouns are they, them, and I skated with the Chicago outfit for 1 year, 2 years ago, and then last year was weird, and here I am today, and I am a jammer, which are people with the stars on their heads, and we'll talk more about that maybe later.
We will, yes. Franz, you go.
My derby name is Franzarelli, but everyone calls me Franz, or some call me Franzi. I skated for 3 seasons, and 2020 was supposed to be my 4th season, but it didn't happen. So we'll see when it continues. I'm a blocker.
And I am Betty. My derby name used to be Betty Slay because somebody in Milwaukee had the name Betty Rage, but that person retired and moved to Seattle. Yes, I've been paying attention. So now my name is going to be Betty Rage. And I skated with the outfit for Franz. What did you say?
I think I was going into my 4th season, and you were the year before me, 2 years before me.
I thought I was going into my 6th season last year. Maybe it was 5th. I've been skating for 1 year longer than Franz with the outfit. That's all. That's all I know. And then I'm a jammer like that. So, all right. So just a little bit of info. And I have a little PowerPoint presentation. So let me share that. It's nothing fancy, but it's something. Let me see. How do I? Oh, I have to press the share button. Okay, I got this. Okay, so Roller Derby 101. Yes, there's Bat, there's Franz. I didn't put a picture of me because I just didn't. But yeah, we skate for the Chicago Outfit Roller Derby League. This is our team photo from 2019, before the pandemic. We were founded in the fall of 2007, and we became a WIFTA league in 2010. WIFTA, it's WFTDA. It stands for Women's Flat Track Derby Association. It's like the overall organization for derby. And so we are an all-female and non-binary flat track roller derby league. We are based in Chicago. I don't know. Oh, okay. Sorry. We are based in Chicago. Our 2020 and 2021 seasons, because of the pandemic, were canceled. So we are currently not skating, but typically we skate 3 to 4 home bouts, and then during a season, and then a bunch of away games and tournaments. So, oh, I'm scrolling the wrong way. So just a little bit about how roller derby is played. So roller derby is a full contact sport done on roller skates. Because it's full contact, we wear elbow pads, wrist guards, knee pads, and the helmets that Franz and Bat are wearing. Each bout is about like 60 minutes long, and they are divided into 2 30-minute periods. And each period is divided into jams, which can be up to 2 minutes long. So what happens in a jam? 2 teams take the track, 4 blockers. One of those blockers is a pivot, and I will talk about that in a minute, and 1 jammer. The jammer is the player that scores points for each team. The goal of the jammer is to get past the the other team's pack of blockers, and they want to get out before the jammer on the other team so they can be the lead jammer. Once they are out of the pack, they take a lap. Oh no, this mouse is so sensitive. Wow, this mouse is so sensitive. Okay, sorry about that. Once the jammer gets out of the pack, they take a lap all the way around the track and do it all again. And each blocker they pass on their second time through equals 1 point. So if there are 4 blockers on the track and they get past all of them before the jam is over, they get 4 points. The lead jammer, the person who gets out first, can call the jam off at any point. It does not have to go the full 2 minutes. There is one player called a pivot, and they are a blocker, but they are able to take the star from the jammer and become the jammer. So they would do that if, say, their team's jammer is really struggling to get out, and they would just pass the star over to the pivot so they can go around the track and then try and score points. So I said a lot. Bat, Franz, do you have anything to add to that? Anything I missed? I will say it does not make sense until you watch more of it. It did not make sense to me until I actually played it a little bit. Not gonna lie. It's very complicated.
It's one of the only sports where you're playing offense and defense at the same time all the time.
Yep. Okay, so I do have a couple of videos that I was going to show. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to make sure, I don't know if I can see from here if anyone's in the waiting room.
Usually on the screen share bar, you can find all the other buttons again.
Gotcha, I found it. Thank you. Okay, nobody's in the waiting room. Okay, so I'm just going to show a couple of videos just to show how it looks. So, and I took these from the Facebook page. Oh no.
Oh, cricket.
Ads. Skip. Okay. Can you hear this?
No, I think you have to hit share computer audio.
I have to share the computer audio. So I'm going to do that right now. If I can figure that out.
It's somewhere in the screen share settings.
Advanced.
Oh, this would be
there we go.
We have St. Louis,
oh, no.
Arch rival coming into this.
Now we can hear it.
I will figure this out. It took the video away, didn't it?
It did.
Okay, and then it just played the sound. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, it's acted out in separate Zoom squares with only 2 people.
Wait, now I don't even. Okay, so share.
Is there a roller derby RPG where you can go through it virtually?
There should be.
I'd play that. I don't want to have it. I don't want to move around a track, but I would do it virtually.
Well, that's why I keep during the pandemic. I was like, what if we just had a bunch of remote control cars and we all just were socially distant and trying to play derby with something else?
Or bubbles. Okay, I think I figured it out. Alrighty.
Denver coming in with a first place
so
finish
I'm
at
just going to. We don't need to hear all of the beginning part, but let me play a jam or 2.
That's where they've ended their run in the past 3 championship tournaments. However, Denver
So those
took
are the
4th
jammers,
place
and that's
last year
one of
and
the
in
pivots.
2017.
They were a stripe
So both of these
on their
teams
helmet.
really trying to fight towards that Hydra. The winner of this game will go on to play Rose City tomorrow, or whoever wins Rose versus Philly, excuse me, today. The winner of this game will play that winner of that game tomorrow, the ultimate game of the evening at 8:30.
Yeah, Philly winning their game earlier today and winning the dubious prize of having to play again and to face Rose later on today. We're about to begin the action with Scald Eagle and Bricktator jamming for their respective teams. No lead yet declared. Everything's still in the starting area. Scald Eagle gets recycled back into it quickly. Bricktator held at the back, tries to cut through the center of the pack.
Direction of gameplay called on Barrett from Denver.
The jammers are out together, but it is Scald Eagle in the front with lead. Bricktator overtakes. And the pack moves into turn number 4, and Scald calls that off. And no change to score.
0-0 to start the game. That is a testament to the defense and that clock management. Scald definitely saw where Bricktator was approaching and opted to call it off quite quickly before anybody could make any progress. That was less than a minute long, Slim.
Yeah, things happening quickly. The teams feeling each other out perhaps in the early going. That's Wilhelm in the white for Denver.
And for arch number 14, Loki Doki.
Loki Doki moves to the front of the pack. Denver clamps down around Loki Doki. Loki Doki breaks apart the defensive posture. Meanwhile, Wilhelm has been recycled by Cloak and Dragger. No lead yet declared. We're in turn number 1.
Very nice rotation up in the front at turn 1, trapping Loki Doki for almost 25 seconds there. Loki Doki declared lead 1-1 on lead status for these two teams.
Loki Doki now in scoring position in turn 1, inside the pack. Moves inside that defensive posture of Denver skaters. Now everything being held in place. Things slow to a crawl. Loki Doki gets that trailing skater, now has to bridge for Denver, and they continue to squeeze Loki Doki.
Meanwhile, Wilhelm still trapped behind that arch rival defense. Kay Woodward just anchoring that arch rival tripod in the back. As you see, Arch with a pretty stationary defense now in a four-person formation, whereas Denver doing a lot of that rotation up in the front. That might be just them watching how Loki Doki is playing and trying to counter that movement, whereas Wilhelm trying to push through more steadily.
Loki Doki does manage to break apart the Denver defenders, comes through with a 4-point pass, quickly circumnavigates the track and back into the pack again.
And I don't think Arch has not passed turn 1 for the entirety of this jam so far. Wilhelm still trapped with less than 30 seconds left on the jam clock.
Yeah, Wilhelm star in hand, but arch rival continues to hold both of these jammers in separate difficulties.
Akers released from the penalty box automatically goes on the offensive, trying to break up that arch rival defense in turn 1, and Loki Doki is through for yet another scoring pass. However, hard fought, 4 points, 8 total on the jam.
Yeah, Loki Doki's been displaying tremendous patience, doing things the hard way, moving through and shedding blockers one by one as Loki Doki moved through the pack. Jam is over. And
all right. So that was just a little bit. I just wanted to like play a couple of jams just to get some footage on. That was Arch Rival, who skates out of St. Louis, and they are actually Chicago Outfit's sister league. When derby leagues join WIFDA, they have to have like a sister or a sibling league sponsor them, and Arch Rival sponsored us. And then the other league was Denver. I tried looking, I was looking for outfit footage, but all I could find was like the footage that we use for our training purposes, which is really hard to like see what's going on. So I just looked at like playoffs and the champs. But yeah, so, oh, okay. I don't know. Okay. So that was just a little footage. So now we'll just go into our Q&A. I do have questions that I had pre-written, and I told you a little bit about that. So the first one was, how did you get into roller derby and what inspired you to come to outfit boot camp? Who wants to go first?
Yeah. I found a tiny quarter sheet flyer. It was actually about the Chicago riots, which was the junior derby league, but it was in the HR part of where I work at the Field Museum. But like I had moved to Chicago and I was like, how do I make friends and get new hobbies or something? And I saw this tiny little flyer and then I like looked up the outfit and then I saw when the boot camp was. And then I was like, oh, no skating experience necessary. That's me. Joined, and then it was great, and I had a very good first season and like grew a lot, and it was a wonderful.
Yes, you
Yes,
did. You did. Franz?
So I always loved skating. I used to skate in my basement as a kid. I used to skate outside. I was telling my kids the other day, my first skates had those metal wheels, and I mean, those were a nightmare outside. I remember my first pair that had rubber wheels was like amazing, like how different that felt on the pavement. But when in 2013, I was kind of losing my mind. I had my second kid and things were tough. She didn't sleep ever. And a friend of mine had started going to this thing called Derby Light, which was roller derby fitness for women. It was like just a bunch of people who would kind of skate one night a week for an hour at this little place in Oak Park and do drills and stuff. And so I started doing that and just loved being on skates again. And then one of the people I met through there went to speed skating. And so I started doing that. And then somebody mentioned another team called the Vindicated Vixens. And so I went and skated with them for a minute. And they were more of a rec league. And I was only with them for, I think it was about 3 months. And then the outfit had a boot camp and I heard about it. So I just went to go do boot camp because it was really cheap and it was a lot of experience and had a lot of fun, met a lot of really cool people. And so decided to transfer there. And that was in fall of 2016. So here we are.
Yeah. I went to about and I was like, I want to do that because that happens pretty often when I go and experience anything. I'm like, well, I want to do that now. And I came to boot camp and a lot of the people in my like boot camp class were in Derby Light or did Derby Light. And so I felt like they had like some experience. I did not. I was like holding on the wall, doing a bunch of weird stuff. And it's surprising that I stuck with it because if I am not like good at something right away, I'll be like, no, forget it. But I kept coming back. There was one coach in particular who actually was the reason why I kept coming back, which is Craze. She kept coming up to me at like the end and she was just like, you're doing really great. And she was like, I could see you getting like frustrated, but you were doing really awesome and you have determination. And she was just like, I hope you try out. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna, thank you. But yeah, that's how I got involved and now here I am. So our second question is, what is your favorite thing about being in Derby or on the Chicago outfit? Either or.
It's so fun. Playing Derby is so fun. I keep thinking I'm going to retire because I'm 48. I'm like the grandma on the team. I'm, could have birthed half the people because everyone is so young. But then I'll watch a clip or see a game or somebody will mention something and oh God, I miss Derby. So yeah, it's just so fun. Playing is the best.
Yeah, it's so good. I like my favorite thing about the outfit is of course just like the people and the camaraderie and just like vibes. We're all a bunch of very cool, fun people, and it was a very nice like community to plug into. And the sport is just really great and weird. I never did sports. I did a little bit of Quidditch in college, but there was never enough of us to like really make a team. But like I had a hard time finding a sport for myself in my whole life. But like Derby really clicked for me, and then I really just like trying to not die. Because you just run a motivational concept to apply to the rest of your life.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely like the camaraderie. It's very family-like on the outfit. I've met a lot of really awesome people. And then also just like doing something super active that's actually fun, and it just like, I don't know, gets your heart racing. I scream a lot when I play Derby. They both know that. I'm Bat gave me a fun slogan for myself once, which was always screaming, always dreaming. Like there was one bout, I think it was a bout or a scrimmage that we had with another team, and someone on the other team said something like, "Is she okay?" Because I like screamed a lot apparently.
She's fine.
The person that responded was like, "Oh yeah, she's just excited. Like she's fine." But yeah. So the next question I have is, what is your favorite Derby related memory? Memories. You could just pick anyone.
For me, I would say it would be like the travel. Not just like necessarily one thing. We were mentioning we were 2 years ago this week, we were in Colorado for a tournament. And then going to Vegas for RollerCon was seriously one of the most fun experiences of my life. I mean, not just did we do fun stuff, but you spend an entire week with all these people and all you talk about is Derby. And my husband gets super tired and he's like, "Oh my gosh, there she goes again," but everyone's talking about Derby all the time, and you're on skates all day, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
I really like all the times when after games or like at events when we're all together in a place and then we all put everybody in a bathroom and try to take the bathroom selfie, which is like a group photo, because that's like the only place where everybody like can like will force to be clustered enough to like all fit in.
In a photo, yeah.
I love the bathroom selfies.
I love it when like we're just like, not even just like at our after parties where I feel like people just expect that, but we'll just like all go to something or just happen to like be hanging out somewhere. And we're like, let's do a bathroom selfie. And everyone's like, what are they doing? As we all crowd in, like screaming. Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah. I don't know what mine is. I don't know. There's so many. Colorado was a lot of fun, though I was really sad because I left my donuts there and nobody brought them back for me. I had a bag full of donuts. I lost them. I don't know. No, my favorite was actually when we went to Ohio, and that was our first game of 2019, and the other team beat us by a ton of points. It was not good in that regard, but that was like the best. I had to skate 2 games too, and for whatever reason, the second game I skated in was like the best game I've ever skated, and I won MVJ for that game, and that was also the game where I destroyed my knee too.
Oh.
So I guess if that was going to happen, I should have just gotten my MVJ. Which is most valuable jammer. At the end of each bout, they announce the most valuable jammer and most valuable blocker for each team. But yeah, so I have one last question. Oh, I mean, it's kind of related. I feel like we already talked about this, but it was like, where was your favorite place that you've traveled to for Derby? And Franz said Vegas and Colorado. I think mine was Colorado too. We went to Denver, and then in the mountains.
Mhm.
Bat, what about you?
I haven't traveled as much as either of you, as one layer, but my favorite is Muncie, Indiana. Because I'm from Indiana, so when we played that game with corn fed, like I had friends from high school and like one of my old managers and like my parents like could all come and it was very cute. I was like, these are all my friends.
Was that the one in the 4-H barn?
Yes.
Those were two. Yeah, I played both those. That was really fun. I didn't really see the people there.
I was not, I didn't play that one. That was when I was injured. So I just went for fun. And I remember, was that the one where the other team, they baked us brownies and I flipped the plate over?
Oh yeah, that did happen.
And it was so hot. Oh my gosh, it was so hot.
And they had like a corn mascot. They had one of their skaters wearing a corn costume for a little bit.
Oh my gosh, I remember that. Yep. That was a good one.
Corn fed. That was a fun game.
Okay, so those are the questions I have. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ati, for attending.
Can I ask some questions?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
So I didn't realize, like when you all said about like it being both offense and defense at the same time, like can you talk about sort of like how your brain does that? Like I mean, I guess it's because you're different roles. And so like if you're focused on being a blocker, then you're like focused on that. But like I'm curious like how you switch from offense to defense at the same time and how that works from from the role that you've played, if that makes sense.
I feel like Franz as a blocker can better speak to this because like being a blocker, you jump jobs very all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It is hard, and I think it takes a couple seasons to Derby. Everything's happening so fast, and it's a couple seasons before you even realize, oh, you're so busy, you're focused on the other team's jammer, and you're stopping them, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, my jammer's stuck back there. Like, can somebody go help? Like, maybe they'd like it, some assistance. So you kind of always have to be aware of what you're doing, but also what's happening around you, beside you. Usually you can send one skater, hey, go back and help the jammer stuck, or sometimes you're calling the pivot because sometimes the pivot forgets they're the pivot. And then they need to go back. So it's really hard. There's a lot of this going on as you're going back and forth. But jammers, they also when they have the opportunity to play a little, they do it too. Or a little, yeah, you guys.
If anytime I block, I just like hang out in the middle and I'm like, yep, I'm in a people tornado. I don't know what's going on.
But
there's times too though where a jammer is coming around the track and the other jammer's coming, and then the jammer just takes out the other jammer. Or I've been on the line right by Ra, one of our other jammers, and she'll start playing on the other jammer right away as soon as the whistle goes, and then you're like, okay, all right, we got it from here, and then she'll move forward.
That is one of the things that makes me the angriest during Derby is when I'm on the line before the whistle blows and the other jammer decides to try and hit me. And I'm like, well, I'm glad you just did that because your blockers are going to get the brunt of my anger right now.
So it works.
Yeah, I know. And it usually makes me get out of the pack faster too, because I'm fueled by anger by that one little move.
Petty rage.
There's a lot of emotions in Derby.
There are. I like to tell people bat facts on the jam line because I'm like, I don't know, we have like a second. That like bats pollinate agave, which is the plant used to make tequila. Fun fact. And also, like, some people hate that. They're like, what are you trying to do? Get in my head, whatever. I'm like, no, I just don't know how to fill this time. And that, like, really fun Meowfit mixer, Fear was getting so mad at me. and was like yelling
When
at
you
stop
when you were
saying bad
narrating it,
facts.
that one.
Oh no, I do love narrating them too, though. But no, I don't even know what I was doing other
Oh,
than
you were
saying
doing it on the line in
facts.
the mixer. Okay.
Yeah, I was on the line somewhere because I think in some of the later ones I must have been blocking too. Me and Fear were just playfully screaming at each other a lot until the refs told us to stop. But it was a good time. We love having fun.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. No, I'm one of those jammers who, if the other jammer's like, hi, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, you're not my friend right now. Don't talk to me. I gotta focus.
I don't know how to focus. I'm like, hello.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Did you have any more questions, Etsy?
Oh, I love that. I can get a real sense of like in the moment, sort of like being really into it. And then also that sense of camaraderie and just like teamwork and all that stuff that comes together. I'm curious about just like the safety aspect of Derby, like how you like obviously all the equipment that keeps yourself safe and how important that is. And then also just like logistically, what are some things that y'all do to keep yourselves like safe? Are there like lines where like somebody crosses that and you're out like completely, or like I imagine there's a lot of just like conversation and like training in like these are the things you can do, here are the things you can't do. Do you ever like hit people's head or what? I don't know. Like I'm like curious about the structures that are embedded in the game to keep people safe.
Yeah. Well, when you hit other players, there are legal hits and illegal hits. So you can only hit another player like on their side all the way down. Yeah. You cannot
Like
hit
all
them
three of us are showing.
yeah, you can't hit them like in the middle of the back. That's like a common penalty that
Nothing up
jammers
here.
can get
No.
is called a back block. You can't hit their head or actually anything neck and above.
Mhm.
And you can't hit other blockers' arms. I mean, jammers can, and then the blockers will get
Yes.
penalties. That is like a strategic move, but and then you can't hit below, is it below the, it's below the knee, it's called a low block.
Yeah.
So you can't like trip another skater.
And there are penalties. So if you get called, you have to go take a timeout and sit down and think about what you've done until they tell you you're done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And a lot of them can be like very accidental, especially things like low blocks, like if he like trips into you and whatever. Those things.
Yeah. Like if you
for
get
safety.
if someone takes you down and you fall down and then someone else trips over you, you can get the penalty because you took them down.
Yeah.
So
you have to, that's another big thing. They tell you to like fall as small as you can, like not to be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like
Splatted.
out.
Well, yeah, like you have to try and like fall as small as you can. And they do, like when you're learning, like in boot camp, I think that's one of the things that they teach you in the beginning is like, okay, you're gonna practice falling, and it's like you have to like fall on your knees and then you're
Paws, not claws. 'Cause you don't
yeah
just to get
yeah, and you
ruptured.
have to like keep your fingers in. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that pause, not claw.
that's a good one.
Oh
I was asking one of the officials the other day, like, have you ever had like weird things happen in dreams about roller derby? And instead, I just heard stories about weird actual roller derby. And so somebody once tried to lick another player on the other team and was expelled from the game. So there's always new things that then the officials have to look at time and decide what the verdict is for trying to lick another.
Oh my gosh.
Which they decided was like not
That's so gross.
Yeah.
I like for bouts, I like, this has nothing to do with safety or anything, but I like wearing body glitter so I can get it on all of the other team.
Yes, some people get really into all the face makeup and everything. And a few years ago, we played against a team, and one skater had like a red band all the way across, and then like some black underneath or whatever. And we were in a timeout. We were in the huddle, and Willie, one of our coaches, was like, "Oh my God, Franz, are you all right? You're bleeding, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "What?" And the back of my arm, all right here, I was like, "Oh no, it was Millennial Falcon."
Oh,
her face was
yeah.
all over my back, but it looked like blood. I was like, oh no, it's just so-and-so's makeup.
I always thought that you couldn't wear red makeup because people kept mistaking it for blood or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe I made that up. But yeah. Okay. Do you have any other questions?
I guess like I love how you all said sort of like how you started. Like, what is the best advice for somebody who wants to get into roller derby or get started, whether they're like a kiddo who wants to join sort of like a derby, a junior derby team, or an adult who's like, this sounds really exciting. I'd like to try it. I've never skated in my life. I have no coordination. Said somebody else who's not me. But yeah, what do y'all recommend?
Yeah, it's hard right now because nobody's skating, but for kiddos, we do have a junior derby league, and they did just recently start up practices. It's like very socially distanced. They're not like doing any contact drills or anything. But they did start up practices. That's the Chicago Riots. And I don't know how many skaters are on the Riots right now.
The Riots have capacity for 40.
Oh my gosh, still?
No,
Wow.
I mean, that's the team capacity that they will take.
I thought they were at capacity.
No, they had several skaters kind of age out, retire, not come back. So for right now, they are all the vets have returned, but it's only been like 3 weeks, so they haven't brought in any new skaters yet. They still have the new skaters who had just started, they started in January of last year, and then everything shut down in March, so those kids didn't have very long. But they are just starting back up, so if someone wanted to join them, they have a Facebook page. Is probably like the easiest way to get in contact with someone. I'm actually a coach for the Riots, and they're awesome, and it's so cool. Those kids are amazing. They're just great, and they practice every Sunday from 10 to 12 at Fleetwood in Summit.
Yeah, and I think if you're in
they practice here at Fleetwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're an adult looking to get into derby things, like right now, like skating has taken off a lot as a hobby, and like skate and outdoor wheel sales have gone up a lot. So if you can, go ahead and get skates, and if you also can, get in touch with derby leagues or just find people that skate and like find skate support people. I love skating outside in Chicago on the lakefront trail all the time. I do it almost every day of the week. So like if you find me and are like, would you be my skating buddy? I would say yes, and I would support your skating journey. And I think there's a lot of people, no matter where you are, that would help you with that.
And I feel like the community in general is kind of like, oh, you want to skate? Yes, come with us. Come with us. We're almost a little bit cultish.
Yeah.
Cult vibes,
but
for sure.
We're always looking for new members.
Yeah, there's a lot of, there's like one Facebook group that people frequently like post meetups or just anything like that. I think it's called Chicago Shred Union.
There is also Windy City Skaters, and that is made up of quad skaters and inline skaters. And they do, I don't know what the plan is for this year, but they used to do big meetups on the first Friday of every month, skating around the city, and then they would do one big weekend skate. Last year they didn't have it because of the pandemic, obviously, but it's called Skate Chicago. It's usually in July or August. It's super fun. I forgot that you did it with us.
Yeah, that was delightful. It was like an architecture tour.
Yes, it's themed skates. Yeah, it's for a whole weekend, and on Saturday and Sunday there's like the morning skate and the evening skate, and each skate is like 12 miles. I mean, they're nothing to sneeze at. But they're themed. There's architecture tours. There's one year was of like paintings and stuff. One year we got to skate through McCormick Place because somebody knew the security guard. So that was awesome. And then right as we were like getting on where we were leaving, the other security guard that was not in the know caught everybody, and the slow people had to take off their skates and walk through.
Oh, no.
But yeah, we got to skate through. Those floors were amazing and so quiet.
Oh, wow.
So cool. That's so funny too that some people got caught.
We're like, oh no, but we waited for them outside.
Oh my gosh. Alrighty. I guess we can wrap up.
Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to stop recording. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah. Oh, also, I don't know.